Happy weekend, brunchers. I'm Bailey Minogue.
And I'm Uncle Collin.
And this is Too Much for Brunch.
You may have seen our top 10 Janet Jackson singles. It was a very well-received video. And as a result, we had a fan of the site who actually asked us what our top 5 Michael Jackson singles were.
I've been spending a little bit too much time talking about singles on the website, so I really wanted to do something a little different. So the criteria for this episode is just the videos. So let's get started. Earth Song came out on the History album in 1996. It's one of my favorite songs from Michael Jackson overall, but the video is really powerful and it's really dark. And I think you don't get to see a lot of angry Michael Jackson.
I always loved Earth Song, and one of the things about Earth Song is it reminds me of a very important time in my life when a good friend of mine, my friend Lashika, was sick and clawed her way back to go to college. And our favorite thing with Earth Song was the chorus in the background when they were like, "What about us?" And Lashika, like, "You notice a black woman like, what about us?" So black or white. And that was the first single and video off the Dangerous album. It was the first time Michael had an album, and he had released an album in 4 years. So there was a lot of hype around it. And if I recall correctly, I believe it premiered after an episode of In Living Color. And it featured lots of cameos from celebrities of the moment. Macaulay Culkin.
Tyra Banks.
Tyra Banks was part of the morphing heads at the end of the video. But what was probably the most, I don't know if you say powerful moment, campy moment, hilarious moment, was at the end of the video. The song ends and Michael has a fit.
Yes.
Yeah.
She showed out.
Girl.
And that's, it's one of the most iconic things that Michael Jackson's ever done, though. It's really powerful. Again, I think it shocked people just because he was being dark. When Michael Jackson kind of wasn't, his happy pop self, people were a little uncomfortable with it. So here he is being violent and being aggressive, and people really didn't know how to take it. Black or White is a song by a black man. Let's all remember. Michael Jackson is black. All tea, all shade. Michael Jackson is black. And it's really hard to function in that world, especially if, for him, he didn't look black anymore. So I think people were probably treating him differently, and he's probably very angry. And I think that was just his way of just releasing the Kraken and being angry. He was an artist, and you gotta express yourself somehow.
Yeah, I remember at the time I didn't get it. I was like 14 years old. I know what was happening. And the fact that he had a song called Black or White and he was much lighter than what he was before, I shaded the hell out of that.
Now, number 3 is one that we decided to go with a different thing than we originally picked. I actually vetoed his number 3 because even though it's all about having a conversation and being diplomatic, it's my f***ing show.
Edit.
Scream, which is, I think, a quintessential pop song because it was one of the first times in my lifespan that I remember 2 really powerhouse pop acts made a song together at the height of their popularities. Usually people don't do that until they get a little bit older, kind of like when Madonna's working with every fucking body. And she wasn't when she was hot. She did the song with Britney when she was kind of on the downslide, and then she's got Nicki Minaj, no shade, I love Nicki. Nicki Minaj has been on a bunch of her songs at this point. Mm-hmm. But even though they were brother and sister, Scream saw 2 of the top acts at the time come together and make a really powerful song with a message.
And the thing was, it was really powerful for Janet to do it because for years, Janet stayed away from doing anything with Michael because she still felt that she was in her brother's shadow. And what was going on at the time was that the molestation charges were really coming out. She basically did the song, said that she was standing by her brother. And that was awesome. I mean, it was awesome for her because Janet really was at the top of her game at that point. She was insanely popular, and it was a great way to have them come together and to work together.
There's a dance sequence that they both do that is so bloody brilliant.
Yes.
It's so good, and it just showcases how talented they both really are.
Yeah, and it was a Tina Landon. Yes, Tina choreographed that one. Yes, she sure did. The number 2 video on our countdown is Michael Jackson's Remember the Time. It's Eddie Murphy, and then you have Iman, supermodel Iman, the fabulous Iman, the best thing about David Bowie Iman, and she has said that herself. The shade is, and it was real, and she was clear about it. Another thing that was important about this video was that it was the first time that Michael Jackson, who at the age of 33, kissed a woman on screen.
Really? I didn't know.
Yes. And if you recall, the kiss,
I don't recall this.
yeah.
I don't remember the kiss. I remember him turning into sand. I remember that being really important.
That was
like some real CG 90s realness.
It was, but the kiss, I wish they would have done some sort of CGI realness for that because it was passionless.
Moonwalker was such a huge part of my childhood, and I personally would sit and watch that on VHS just over and over and over, and it was all I would do. Kind of how my niece is with Frozen currently. I laugh because that's how I was with Moonwalker. But
Moonwalker was better than Frozen.
Of course it was. The last song that's featured in Moonwalker, though, that's shot, is Smooth Criminal. And that is our #1 video pick. And I know you're thinking, it's not Thriller. We're going to talk about that. But why I picked Smooth Criminal is because aside from just being the first epic Michael video, the way Thriller was, it has some quintessential Michael moments.
There is the hat throw, the camera work, which is, technically Michael is not doing it, but the choreography where the camera suddenly shifts and it looks like they're leaning forward.
It was so important. And then he had special shoes made so he could do it live, which I think is so cool.
Yeah, and it was just, and just even the lyrics and Michael is a very good actor. I mean, that's the thing. He was a good actor, and his acting now in the Moonwalker movie as a whole. But in the video parts was where he really shined, and he was awesome.
Another thing I really liked about it was the fact that it was the first time I remember a music video having very little to do with the narrative, but it's still a very powerful and popular video. And it also has the iconic white and blue suit that he wore, and it has the kids that he was carting around with him for those years during the Moonwalker. We are not doing any shading of Michael Jackson and children.
Edit.
Michael again just proved something that looks. It is visually stunning and just amazing, but on paper, if you were reading that, you'd be like, what the heck is this?
30 seconds after the Moonwalker thing happens, he turns into a giant robot, and which is not a part of Smooth Criminal, but it's the next segment in Moonwalker. He leaves the club, and he gets turned into this giant Michael UFO thing, and it makes, again, very little sense. But it was brilliant.
Edit.
So that was our top 5 Michael Jackson videos.
Please join us at facebook.com/toomuchforbrunch for our honorable mention episodes to see if the videos that you did not see today end up on that list.
Join the conversation here on the video and leave your comments and see why we didn't put your favorites in the actual top 5. And you can also follow me on Twitter at TMFB_Bailey.
And you can find me at Collin_Gale. That's COLLIN_GEHL.
I hope you enjoyed this episode, and thanks for watching.
See you soon.